Welcome back to Demolition Worker. Today we are going to dismantle the Boeing 777, the largest twin-engine passenger jet ever. This magnificent flying machine has safely carried millions of people across oceans, but now it has finally reached its ultimate resting place. Standing before us is an absolute titan of the sky, boasting an incredibly long fuselage and a truly massive wingspan structure today. To break down this gigantic aircraft, we need something much stronger than standard tools. We need the ultimate heavy-duty demolition equipment. Enter the specialized hydraulic excavator, equipped with an incredibly powerful rotating aluminum cutting shear designed specifically for modern aerospace-grade metal alloys. This incredible attachment can rotate a full 360 degrees, allowing operators to approach any complex angle with absolute precision. Before the main cutting begins, our expert crew must carefully drain all remaining aviation fuel and hydraulic fluids to ensure complete safety. Environmental protection is our top priority here. Every single drop of hazardous liquid is pumped into secure containment tanks for proper recycling. Next, the team strips the interior cabin. Thousands of passenger seats, overhead bins, and plastic panels are removed by hand very carefully. Miles of copper wiring and intricate electronic systems are pulled from the walls, revealing the bare aluminum skeleton of this massive airplane. Now the real demolition work begins. The giant excavator rolls onto the tarmac, its massive tracks crushing the concrete below it. The operator positions the machine near the nose of the aircraft, raising the heavy hydraulic arm high into the bright morning sky. With a loud mechanical roar, the powerful cutting shear opens its sharp steel jaws, ready to bite into the thick aluminum skin. The first cut is always the most dramatic. The heavy shear effortlessly pierces the cockpit roof, shattering the reinforced glass into pieces. It is truly fascinating to watch such a complex piece of engineering being torn apart by pure, unadulterated hydraulic force and steel. The rotating head allows the operator to twist the shear, ripping away large chunks of the nose section with remarkable surgical precision. Inside the cabin, you can see the exposed insulation and support beams as the machine continues to chew through the outer shell. Every bite of the shear produces a loud crunching sound, echoing across the scrapyard like a giant, metallic beast eating its prey. Now the machine moves towards the massive jet engines. These engines are incredibly valuable and must be removed with very extreme care. Instead of crushing them, the operator uses the shear to carefully cut the heavy titanium mounting bolts holding the engine in place. With a final precise snip, the enormous engine is freed from the wing and gently lowered onto a waiting transport truck bed. These huge engines will be completely refurbished and sold for parts, extending their useful life far beyond the grounding of this aircraft. Once both engines are safely removed, the excavator turns its attention to the sprawling wingspan, which stretches over 200 feet wide. The wings are packed with structural ribs and thick spars, making them one of the toughest parts of the airplane to destroy. But the rotating shear slices through the thick aluminum spars as if they were made of nothing more than thin paper sheets. The operator strategically cuts the wing into smaller, manageable pieces, ensuring that the massive structure does not collapse unpredictably during the process. Piece by piece, the majestic wing is reduced to a pile of twisted metal scraps waiting to be hauled away for recycling. Look closely at the raw power of the hydraulic cylinders. They generate thousands of pounds of crushing force with every single bite. The speed and efficiency of this operation are truly staggering. What once took weeks by hand now takes only a few days. Moving to the rear of the aircraft, the towering tail section presents a unique challenge due to its incredible height and stability. The excavator extends its long-reach boom to its maximum height, carefully grasping the vertical stabilizer with its heavy steel cutting jaws. A swift, powerful crunch severs the main support beams and the giant tail fin crashes down onto the concrete with a thud. Dust billows into the air as the heap of metal hits the ground, marking the end of this airplane's ability to fly forever. The horizontal stabilizers are next. The shear cuts through them effortlessly, stripping the tail section down to the bare rear fuselage tube. Now we reach the most satisfying part of the entire demolition process, slicing the massive main fuselage into perfect, even circular sections. The operator positions the shear at the top of the aircraft, biting deeply into the curved roof of the empty passenger cabin. Slowly and methodically, the shear cuts a continuous line down the side of the fuselage, severing the thick metal frame and windows. It continues its path underneath the belly of the plane, completing a perfect circle around the entire circumference of the metal body. With a gentle nudge from the excavator arm, a huge ring of the fuselage breaks free and tumbles safely to the ground. It is exactly like slicing a giant loaf of bread. The precision required to execute this maneuver smoothly is absolutely mind-blowing. The operator repeats this process again and again, moving steadily down the length of the aircraft, creating slice after slice of metal. Each massive slice weighs several tons, yet the heavy-duty machinery handles them with the grace and ease of a delicate ballet. The 360-degree rotating head is the true hero here, effortlessly adjusting to the curved contours of the fuselage. Without this specialized rotation feature, the excavator would have to constantly reposition its heavy tracks, wasting valuable time and burning extra fuel. As the slices accumulate on the tarmac, another smaller machine moves in to help process the growing pile of sharp aluminum debris. This secondary excavator is equipped with a sorting grapple, designed to pick up the loose metal chunks and load them into trucks. The teamwork between these two giant machines is incredibly efficient, keeping the demolition site clean and safe for all the ground workers. The thickest part of the fuselage is the central wing box, where the massive wings originally attached to the main airplane body. This section is built with layers of reinforced titanium and incredibly dense aluminum alloys to withstand extreme aerodynamic stress during turbulent flights. The cutting shear groans slightly as it bites into this ultra-tough material, but the immense hydraulic pressure quickly overcomes the resistance. Sparks fly into the air as the heavy steel blades clash against the high-grade titanium bolts hidden deep within the structure. The operator remains completely calm inside the armored cab, expertly manipulating the joysticks to guide the powerful shear through the toughest sections. Watching this process reveals the hidden anatomy of the airplane, exposing the complex framework that kept passengers safe high above the clouds. The floor beams, cargo hold supports, and intricate wiring channels are all laid bare before being ruthlessly crushed by the steel jaws. As the central section is finally dismantled, the aircraft is now officially broken down into two distinct halves lying on the tarmac. The front half is nothing more than a hollowed-out tube, while the rear half still retains some of its original shape. The excavator moves back to the front section, continuing the bread slicing technique to reduce the remaining tube into smaller metal rings. The sheer volume of material generated by this single airplane is absolutely astounding. It will fill dozens of large, heavy transport trucks. Aerospace aluminum is highly prized in the recycling industry because of its incredible purity and exceptional strength to weight ratio for manufacturing. Every piece of metal cut today will be melted down and repurposed, perhaps even becoming part of a brand new passenger aircraft. The landing gear is another incredibly tough component. Made of solid forged steel, it requires a completely different approach to dismantle safely. The shear carefully cuts around the mounting brackets, allowing the heavy wheels and massive steel struts to drop freely to the ground. These landing gear assemblies are so robust that they often outlast the airframe itself and can sometimes be reused on other planes. As the day progresses, the once proud Boeing 777 is rapidly shrinking, transformed from a flying marble into a scrap pile. The operator's skill is truly tested when cutting near the cargo doors, as the reinforced hinges are notoriously difficult to snap apart. But the 360-degree rotation proves its worth again, finding the exact weak point to tear the hinges cleanly. The sheer destructive force of the machine is mesmerizing. It effortlessly crumples thick aluminum panels like they are empty soda cans easily. Sunlight reflects off the freshly cut metal edges, creating a dazzling display of silver flashes across the dusty demolition yard right now. The rear section of the fuselage is now being sliced. The rings fall one by one, creating a massive pile of debris. It is a bittersweet moment for aviation enthusiasts, watching such a legendary aircraft meet its final end under the crushing steel jaws. However, this recycling process is an essential part of the modern aviation life cycle, ensuring that valuable natural resources are never completely wasted. The smaller pieces of aluminum are scooped up by a giant loader and dumped into a heavy-duty shredder for further processing. Inside the shredder, rapidly spinning metal teeth tear the aluminum chunks into tiny fragments, preparing them for the intense heat-melting furnace. This closed-loop recycling system is incredibly efficient, recovering over 90% of the structural materials from this retired commercial passenger jet. Even the seemingly useless plastic interior panels and synthetic seat cushions are sorted and sent to specialized facilities for proper energy recovery. Back on the tarmac, only a small section of the rear fuselage remains intact. The excavator moves in for the final cuts. Shear bites into the final piece of the tail section, severing the last remaining structural ribs with a loud, satisfying crunch. The final ring of the airplane tumbles to the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust that slowly drifts across the scrapyard. The majestic Boeing 777 is now completely gone, replaced by neat piles of sorted metal ready to begin a new life. The heavy machinery powers down, the loud roar of the diesel engines fading away, leaving a strange silence over the demolition site. The operators step out of their armored cabins, inspecting the massive piles of perfectly cut scrap metal they have generated very safely. It takes an incredible amount of teamwork, skill, and advanced hydraulic technology to dismantle a machine of this sheer size and complexity. The rotating aluminum shear has proven itself to be the ultimate tool for this demanding job, offering unmatched speed and surgical precision. Without this specialized equipment, breaking down an aircraft like this would take months of dangerous manual labor with blowtorches and handsaws. The bread slicing technique we witness today is a testament to human ingenuity in the field of heavy industrial demolition and recycling. By cutting the fuselage into manageable rings, the crew ensures maximum safety while significantly speeding up the overall scrap metal sorting process. Transport trucks now begin to roll into the yard, their empty beds ready to receive the heavy loads of valuable aerospace aluminum. Huge magnetic cranes and sorting grapples work together to quickly load the trucks, carefully separating the steel components from the lighter aluminum. The logistics of moving thousands of tons of scrap metal require careful planning and precise execution to keep the operation running smoothly. Soon, these trucks will hit the highway, delivering the processed metal to foundries where it will be melted at extreme high temperatures. It is fascinating to think that the metal from this very airplane might soon be flying above us again in another form. The cycle of engineering, creation, service, and ultimately demolition is a beautiful industrial process that drives our modern technological world constantly forward. We have witnessed the raw power of heavy machinery and the delicate precision required to safely take apart a giant commercial airplane. The Boeing 777 will always be remembered as a legend of the skies, even as its physical form is completely destroyed. This massive demolition project was a complete success, completed safely, efficiently, and with the utmost respect for the environment and recycling standards. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the fascinating world of extreme heavy-duty aviation demolition and metal recycling. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Demolition Worker for more amazing heavy machinery action. See you next time.